Manchester United players desperate for Ruud van Nistelrooy to stay on as Manchester United assistant. What does everyone think about that? Let's talk about that on today's show. Make sure you get in the comments section. Let me know your thoughts on Ruud van Nistelrooy. Should he stay on? Obviously, he's not going to become the manager because we have a new manager, but I want to know your thoughts on the future of Ruud van Nistelrooy. But before we get into that, please do me a small favour. Smash a like on today's video. Let's try and see 500 likes on this episode. And if this is your first time watching, please also make sure you subscribe to the channel. Right. We're going to start the show off by talking a little bit about some injury news because it is positive news, I guess, but take it with a little bit of a pinch of salt. Mason Mount is back in full training. And when I say take it with a pinch of salt, obviously I want Mason Mount to do well. I want him to, to live up to the price tag that we paid for him. But the fact of the matter is, he just hasn't. When he has played, he's looked pretty underwhelming. And I don't know how many games he's missed for injury, but I feel like he's injured literally all the time. His injury record is as bad as Luke Shaw's. He comes back from injury and then he misses another 2 months worth of games. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with him. I don't understand because I don't think he was like this at Chelsea. So I don't know, is there something else going on? I have no idea. I just think it's a very, very strange situation. But he is definitely back in first team training. But apparently he won't be back until after the international break, which is 3 weeks away? So he's in training. He's playing with the other first team players on the grass, but he still isn't ready to even be on the bench. I mean, to me, that just screams there's something seriously wrong with the player, I understand if they're training on their own or they're just doing gym work. Obviously, then they're not going to be part of the squad. But for him to be actually training with the rest of the team on the grass, playing matches and stuff, why is he not able to then just be on the bench? Apparently he'll be back in time for after the Ipswich game, which is at the end of November. I'm just going to have a look at when the last time he actually played a game of football, Mason Mount was. So this season, across all competition, he's appeared in 3 games in all competitions. And we've probably played, 10 in the Premier League. We've probably played 15 matches this season so far, and he's played in 3. He's played 200 minutes so far out of a potential, 1,500. So he's probably played 5% of the minutes available to him. I mean, it's really not very good, is it? And when you think that we spent 64 million euros on him, he is still young, though. I say he's young. He's 25 now. He was young when we bought him. I think he was 23 when we bought him. He's 25 now, which is still young, obviously, in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't fill me with much confidence when you've got a player who seems to just be injured all the time, and then when he is available, he doesn't deliver either. So yeah, it's a little bit concerning, but he does still have 4 years left of his current contract at Manchester United. So it's going to be up to Ruben Amorim to get the most out of Mason Mount. And in all fairness, he is quite a versatile player. So he might be somebody who, can offer Manchester United something in this new 3-4-3 or the 3-4-2-1 or whatever formation Ruben Amorim's going to set up with. So that's the latest on Mason Mount. Obviously, let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section below. Let's jump on over to Ruud van Nistelrooy and let's get a little poll going in the live chat. Let's do this. So the question's going to be simple. Should United keep Ruud as assistant manager? So this story is being reported by a lot of the English journalists this morning that apparently the Manchester United players are desperate for Ruud van Nistelrooy to stay at the club. Now, I've got 2 answers to this. Should we listen to the players? No. Because effectively, these players are the reason why we're sat 14th, 13th in the Premier League. These players are the reason why the manager was sacked. These players are why we're sat 23rd in the Europa League, because they're not good enough. Right? We all agree on that. Most of these players aren't good enough. So for me personally, I don't really care what the players want. The players need to be told what to do and they need to listen and they need to do it. Because for them to say, oh, we want Ruud van Nistelrooy to stay, please let Ruud... it's not your decision to make, The only person who should have this decision for me is Ruben Amorim and Ineos, Because at the end of the day, Ruben Amorim needs to have the best possible tools at his disposal in order to make his time at Manchester United a success. And if he turns around and says, you know what, I don't think Ruud van Nistelrooy is going to work in my team, then don't keep him. But if Ruben Amorim says, yes, I would love for Ruud van Nistelrooy to stay, then obviously great, keep him. That's kind of how I see it. So my take on it is simple. I don't really care what the players think. I don't care what they want. The only thing that I want is for the manager to be happy. And if Ruud van Nistelrooy staying makes the manager happy, then great, go and do that. But if it doesn't, get rid of him. You know? And the thing is, right, Ruud van Nistelrooy can go and get a managerial job somewhere else, you know? Like, he's good enough to go and become a manager. He was a manager. He was the manager at PSV. So it's not like getting rid of him is derailing his career. He'll go and get a job somewhere else. And as he said, he would only take the assistant manager job at Manchester United. He wasn't interested in becoming an assistant manager anywhere else. It was just because it was Manchester United, you know? So, yeah, I wish nothing but the best for Ruud van Nistelrooy, but at the same time, I want nothing more than Ruben Amorim to succeed. And if that means he wants Ruud van Nistelrooy to stay, great. If it means he wants him to go, great. I don't mind either way, you know. And the main takeaway point is that I don't care what the Manchester United players want, you know? They shouldn't have a say in this, to be honest, because they are why we are where we are, you know? I know people will say, oh, it's Erik ten Hag's fault, what was it, Jose Mourinho's fault as well? Was it Ollie's fault? Was it Ralph Rangnick's fault? Was it David Moyes'? Like, I know some of these players aren't the same, but there is still a fair amount of players who've been here for a long time, you know, the Rashfords, the Brunos, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah. We'll see what happens with that one. Obviously, you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Should Ruud van Nistelrooy be kept on as the assistant manager? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Let's see what else people are saying. Right, let's move on from that though. I'll read out some of your comments and stuff in a minute, so make sure you get them in the live chat now if you haven't already. And let's move over to this story that just broke about Kvaratskhelia. Hopefully I've said his name right. His name's, I think it's Kvaratskhelia, isn't it? Obviously plays for Napoli. Very, very talented footballer. Somebody who I would love to see at Manchester United. And the news this morning coming out from multiple different journalists in the UK is that apparently Manchester United are exploring a summer move for 23-year-old Georgian international Napoli winger Kvaratskhelia. Now, the reason for this is because apparently Napoli are trying to give him a new contract, and the contract talks have kind of reached a bit of a halt. He's still got 3 years left on his deal, to be fair, but by the time the summer comes, it will only be 2, which is kind of the point where teams say to the player, either we give you a new deal or we sell you. Which is it to be? So, I mean, he would be an absolutely unbelievable player, and I think he would suit, you know, the system of a Ruben Amorim. He's very skillful, he's quick, he's very good on possession, and he's still very, very young. He would be an absolutely amazing signing for Manchester United. He would be a marquee signing. Would he come to Manchester United? I don't know. I mean, if we were back in the Champions League, if we offer him, you know, first team football, then I'm sure it would be of interest to him. So far this season, he scored 5 goals and got 2 assists in 11 Serie A matches, which is roughly a goal or an assist every other game, which is decent. Not a bad return, is it? Obviously, for I mean, it is arguably in the Italian league, which is a a lesser league, and he is playing for the best team in the one of the best teams in the Italian league. But I still think he's a very good player, and I still think he's somebody who I would like to see at Manchester United. But you can let me know your thoughts on Kvaratskhelia in the comment section. Do you think he's the right fit for Manchester United? And whose position would he take? Because effectively, we know that Ruben Amorim plays this kind of slightly strange formation. Not strange, different to what we play at the moment. And not a formation that's played that often in the Premier League. So where would he fit into that system? That's the big question that I would... I would love for you guys to let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Let's see if I've got any live chats coming in today. Somebody in the chat saying that Kvaratskhelia wants to use Manchester United's name to give him a bigger contract. That's probably true. I would agree with that, to be fair. Johnny says we should replace Darren Fletcher with Ruud van Nistelrooy. Yeah, I think Darren Fletcher's one of the coaches now, right? Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't be terrible, would it? Lots of people in the chat are saying we don't care what the players want. I agree, 100%. You know, the players should not have a say in whether Ruud van Nistelrooy stays. They should be told what to do. And if they don't do what they're told, they should be sold. It's as simple as that. Because none of these players, to me, have any credit in the bank, you know? Like, I honestly don't think any of these players have any credit in the bank. None of them. Not one of them. We're sat 13th in the Premier League and 23rd in the Europa League, which we shouldn't even be in the first place. So, yeah. But I'm going to wrap the video up here. It's just a quick little news update for you guys this morning. Please make sure to drop a like on the video before you go. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. This has been Daily Red Devil. Have a lovely day, everybody, and I'll speak to you all very soon.